بيلقى مرة في السوق بعد شوية كده بيرفع يده فوق بيتكلم يا جماعة الحالة ده حالة حرجة جدا، وده يكون بنقول له ستريس. حتى كان ما في حاجة كويس في البلد، أكل خليه يكون موفر يا جماعة. أنا بناشد القياديين بتاعنا بعدين والله العظيم إيالكم حياكم نار في بطنهم، لأنه الشعب الجنوبي بيكون وبيعاني إنه علينا يا جماعة.
Sounds of the Week on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. Live from Juba, on air and online.
This is iRadio News.
Hello, good afternoon. This is iRadio News. First, here are the headlines. Authorities in Equator's county of Eastern Equatoria State say a cholera outbreak has claimed at least 35 lives since September, including 12 deaths reported in the past 2 weeks. The mayor of Juba City has appealed to the public to join hands in keeping the city clean, saying Juba represents the face of South Sudan. And the Ministry of Roads and Bridges has launched the second phase of the rehabilitation of the 192-kilometer Juba-Nimule Highway, focusing on the section within Nyolo-Payam in Magui County of Eastern Equatoria State. There's stories and more coming to you in this news bulletin with me, Lasuba Memo, and now the news in detail. Authorities in Equator's county of Eastern Equatoria State say a cholera outbreak has claimed at least 35 lives since September, including 12 deaths reported in the past 2 weeks. According to the county commissioner, Timon Loboy Lolori, who cited a report from the primary health care units, the number of infections continues to rise as local authorities struggle to contain the spread. He confirmed that 35 people have died of cholera since the outbreak began in September. Lolori said 12 people have died in the past 2 weeks alone, bringing the total number of reported cases to 86. Commissioner Lolori said the cases are being reported from Lobira, Zahari, Isoke, Ramula, and Lorima.
I have received the cases of 2 weeks. The total cases are 86, 12 of them. The location which I could tell you, Lobira, Zahari, Isoke, Ramula, and Lorima. That is for September. Because according to the supervisor, he told me other cases were just within the areas, but they did not report it. They did not report. That's why we are spoken to that now. Yes, that is the major issue. That there is no need for intervention. The state managed to send some fluid, but it was not enough. All these areas. Ours is only we are trying to educate people on issue of health, so because that is our role. Because people have to keep hygiene well, but we don't have capacity of getting some fluid from someone to emphasize on health. People should do several drills.
Okay.
And not their harms and
He said the State Ministry of Health dispatched some medical supplies, including rehydration fluids, but they were not enough to cover all the affected areas. Local authorities are urging residents to observe strict hygiene practices, including frequent hand washing and the safe handling of food and water, as efforts continue to prevent further spread of the disease. The mayor of Juba City has appealed to the public to join hands in keeping the city clean, saying Juba represents the face of South Sudan. Christopher Sarafino Wane said before the country can achieve meaningful development, there must first be a healthy society that values cleanliness and good hygiene. Describing Juba as the image of the nation, Mayor Sarafino urged residents to support the City Council in carrying out its mandate to maintain order and cleanliness. He stressed that keeping the city clean is a shared responsibility between the citizens, residents, and the government. Sarafino made the remarks at Joseph Paris in Juba on Sunday.
I came here to introduce myself, to greet you people, so that you know
that you have a new servant. One thing that I can ask you people to do for me and my team and the people of Juba City, please, you support us in just trying to keep our city clean. Please support us in trying to keep our city clean. We're going to engage with you. We're going to come down to you because the issue of the cleanness is touching everything we do in our lives. Before we talk about development, we must make sure that we're healthy. And for us to be healthy, we need good hygiene. And for us to have good hygiene, we have to start from our homes, our hearts, and our city that we have to be clean. This is my special appeal to you. Please stand with us. If you stand with us, please, I know you can be able to change the face of this country, which is the city, and you can change the whole country. Because if outside is clean, definitely our hearts are clean, and we're going to live in peace and harmony and in good health.
The Commissioner of Balliet County in Upper Nile State says rising water levels of the Nile River have destroyed and damaged more than 1,000 hectares of farmland in the area. Joseph Deng said the floods have swept through vast areas along the riverbanks, destroying crops that residents rely on as the main source of food and income. He said the floods, now in their second week, have displaced families, destroyed farms, and forced the schools to close in 3 payams of the county.
ماشي لاكثر من اسبوعين كم بيامات اللي تضرروا صار ده 3 بيامات وده الاكثر بيامات المتضررين تدمير خالص ما في حتى محصول زراعيه اللي كان زرعوه اتدمرت تماما مدارس قفلوا مركز صيا الموجود هناك تم قفله فاصلا يعني من ناحيه بتاعت وجود انسان هناك ضعيف. انا جيت صباح ده انا هنا في نجار في يامجو لقينا انه حتى مدارس يعني مويه لافت داخل المدرسه انت جاي من المدرسه ومويه قطع حتى الردميه الكبير اللي انت جاي من ملكال اللي انت ماشي لنجار الردميه ذاته مويه قطع قسم مويه اللي لقيناه هسه في المدرسه كان مويه مبارد ما كان فيه لكن هسه اخذوا مسافه كبير ونازل قالوا المواطنين قالوا له لغايه بعدين متى يمكن يغطي المدرسه كله. ده مويه جاي من بحر في منسوب بتاع البحر ارتفع شديد يعني حتى لو انت وقفت في طرف البحر يعني بتشوف ارتفاع بتاع البحر اكثر من الارض.
Speaking to iRadio from Angediar on Tuesday, Commissioner Deng said floodwaters had submerged schoolyards and cut off the road linking Malakal and Angediar. He added that the affected areas cover thousands of hectares and that stagnant water has created ideal breeding grounds for mosquitoes, leading to a rise in malaria cases. He further stated that snakes have also been forced out of their flooded burrows, posing additional risk to residents. Commissioner Deng appealed to humanitarian agencies to assist in digging drainage canals and repairing damaged roads.
يا التضرر من ناحية بتاعت المشاريع شوف إذا كان بيام كامل أو 3 بيامات ديل مشاريع بتعمل ضرر خالص يعني ما في حاجة. هنا الزراعية ممكن يقدر ب 150 ل 300 فدان في بيام واحد يعني لما تمسك 3 بيامات ديل ممكن يتجاوز 1000 ونص. كانوا المواطنين طبعا اتضرروا حتى بيوت كسر مويه كسروا. نادم هسه برضه علينا شغالين في انه نعمل خفض للضرر بتاع المواطنين. طبعا انا داير اناشد يعني مناشده يعني لانه ارتفاع بتاع مويه هلا بعوض ذات النسبه بتاع التوالد تاع بعوض ارتفع بتاع الملاريا ارتفع في كل بيامات. بعدين نمر 2 في وجود العفا طلعوا لانه كلها بقى مليانه بالمويه. فانا بناشد المنظمات العامله وخاصه المنظمات العامله في الشؤون الانسانيه اقل حاجه يعني يساعدوا الناس يعني لو بيقدروا يساعدونا بحفر بتاعت المجاري ده بيكون كويس وبرضه يساعدوا المواطنين من احياء عشان يقدروا يعملوا ردميات.
This is iRadio News. Members of the public have welcomed the Western Bahar El Ghazal Commissioner's resolutions to strengthen governance and service delivery, but urged that the decisions be fully implemented, not just documented. The 3-day forum held from October 23rd to 25th in Wau took place under the theme Building Trust, Unity and Coordination for Effective Service Delivery in Local Government. After extensive discussions, the forum resolved that counties should prioritize peaceful coexistence among communities and address border disputes through dialogue. The forum directed county authorities to manage the 3% community share of gold revenues transparently and invest the funds in local development priorities. It tasked the Ministry of Agriculture with ensuring the timely delivery of seeds, tractors, and other inputs to farmers, while Raja County was encouraged to revive its sugarcane plantation project to stimulate local economic growth. Commenting on the forum, some members of the public urged the commissioners to serve not as representatives of their political parties, but in the common interest of all citizens. They further emphasized that the resolutions on peace, security, development, peaceful coexistence, agriculture, and infrastructure improvement should be fully implemented. They spoke on iRadio's Dawn Show today.
What we are looking for is the implementation, whether they will be effective or not. It's about peace and reconciliation. When we talk about the freedom of movement, if we move out from Wow, whether you will move out from Wow here to Basilia to Zumzuber so that you reach Raja, if the citizen will be safe, it will be fine, and this is what we want. If somebody is moving out from here to Ninako or to a little turn in other way around, then, and if the citizen is free, then it's okay. Agriculture needs total peace. So we need the full implementation will be effective. Not only presentation and you relax. لأن عارفين الشعب ده المكان اللي قاعدين فوقه عارفين واحد واحد هم اللي بدأ يعمل الحكم هم اللي بيجيب رصاص عشان يكون في حكومة حكومية. إذا هذا حكومة حكومية فكر رجع صلاحية ده للحكومة المحلي أنا متأكد هيكون في نجاح. لأنه بدأ فيه ونتمنى برضه كل العشر ولايات يمشي بنفس السيستم. الشعب مسؤول من المحافظين والحكومة المحلي.
They are supposed to start from the security to the county, security to the mission, to the normal, and peace following the security. If peace is being implemented in the counties bordering another county, there will be no insecure, and the delivery of the services which they talk about it will be fair.
Western Bahar El Ghazal state is divided into 3 counties, namely Wau County, Ju River County, and Raja County. The Ministry of Roads and Bridges has launched the second phase of the rehabilitation of the 192-kilometer Juba-Nimule Highway, focusing on the section within Nyolo Payam in Magui County of Eastern Equatorial State. The Juba-Nimule Road is a major highway connecting the capital Juba to the border town of Nimule, serving as a key trade link between South Sudan, Uganda, and Kenya. The 192-kilometer road, the first paved highway in South Sudan, was built by the United States government to promote economic growth in the country after its completion in 2012. Earlier this month, the chairperson of the South Sudan Freight Forwarders Association, Deng Daniel, appealed to the government to urgently repair the dilapidated Juba-Nimule Road, warning that its poor condition was slowing down trade and threatening further economic decline. Road engineer and managing director of Rhino Star Construction Company, Peter Thames, said the road requires urgent repairs to restore safe and smooth transport.
Our appeal is patience. Let's be patient. Let's South Sudanese. Let's be patient. Fix our country. Let's be friendly. Let's cooperate. The local communities, the road users, let's cooperate. Development does not come once. I know there are a lot of obstacles. Not only this road, all the roads in South Sudan are in a deterioration point. But we are there to fix with whatever level we have.
Speaking to the South Sudan Broadcasting Corporation yesterday, an engineer from the Ministry of Roads and Bridges, Joseph Deng, called for patience and cooperation among citizens and local communities as the ministry works to improve the road infrastructure across the country. The South Sudan Human Rights Defenders Network has expressed concern over proposals by the National Elections Commission to base the 2026 general elections on data from the 2008 population census and 2010 constituency boundaries. In a statement to iRadio Newsroom, the network warned that using outdated information would de-enfranchise many citizens and undermine the credibility of the country's first general elections since independence. The group said South Sudan has undergone significant demographic, social, and political changes over the past 17 years, including population movements, return of refugees, and urban growth, factors that make the old census data obsolete. James Bidal, head of Secretariat at the Rights Network, said conducting elections on such figures would be unfair and could erode public trust in the process. Bidal added that reverting to the 332 parliamentary seats defined under the 2010 constituencies ignores new administrative boundaries and evolving local governance structures. The statement follows remarks by Professor Abednego Akok, chairperson of the National Elections Commission, who proposed using the 2008 and 2010 frameworks for the upcoming polls, citing limited time before the elections. Professor Akok said the approach would require amendments to the constitutions and the National Elections Act to align the laws with the proposed arrangement. South Sudan has not held a general election since independence in 2011. The vote scheduled for December 2026 is seen as a crucial step in completing the country's democratic transition. The national rights body is calling on the government, the National Elections Commission, and political parties to update the electoral framework and ensure the upcoming elections reflect the country's current realities. This is iRadio News. And now to the international scene. Here is James Atem.
Thank you, Lasuba Memo. And now here are the top stories from across the region and beyond. Sudan's military chief has confirmed the army's withdrawal from its last western stronghold of El Fasher after the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces declared control of the city. In a televised address, General Abdel Fattah el-Burhan said he had approved the withdrawal in response to the systematic destruction and killing of civilians. He said he had agreed with local leaders to leave and go to a safe place to protect the remaining citizens and the rest of the city from destruction. Elsewhere, a plane with 12 people on board has crashed in Kwale near Kenya's coast, the aviation authority has said. It was flying from the coastal town of Diani to a resort in Egempa, Kishwa Tembo, before it went down at 5:30 local time. A statement from the Kenyan Civil Aviation Authority says. One news site is quoting police as saying that the tourists were on board. Kenya media have published images of the plane in flames on the ground with debris scattered at the scene of the crash. And finally, a man accused of killing former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has pleaded guilty on the first day of his trial. Tetsuya Yamagami, 45, told a court in the capital Tokyo that everything is true according to local media. Yamagami used a homemade gun to shoot Abe during a political campaign event in the western city of Nara in 2022. And that's the end of the regional and international news with me, James Atem. Now back to you, Lasuba Memo in the studio.
Thank you, James Atem. This is iRadio News. And now to the world of sports. Here is Darlington Moses.
Thank you so much, Lasuba Memo. In the world of sport, starting with home news, South Sudan Blind Football Association has a major step toward qualifying for the 2028 Paralympic Games in Los Angeles after recording 2 historic victories in their first ever international matches. The Bright Stars defeated host Uganda 3-0 in the opening game of the Blind Football African Championship Division 2 at Ham Stadium in Kampala on Monday. Forward Yona Amin Sabri scored twice, while captain Martin Lado sealed the win with a brilliant solo goal. Later in the evening, Sabri continued his impressive form with 2 more goals in a 2-0 victory over Zimbabwe, putting him on track to become the tournament's top scorer. The back-to-back wins guarantee South Sudan a top 2 finish, earning automatic promotion to the next year's Division 1 championship, the final qualifying stage for Africa's slots at the 2028 Paralympic Games. The San Antonio Spurs and Oklahoma City Thunder extended their winning starts to the NBA season to 4 games. Victor Wembanyama scored 24 points as the Spurs beat the Toronto Raptors 121-103 at Frost Bank Center. The Thunder claimed a 101-94 win at the Dallas Mavericks, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scoring 23 points. The Thunder had a 22-point lead cut to 1 late in the fourth quarter before they moved out of reach. Lauri Markkanen scored a career-high 51 points to help the Utah Jazz to a 138-134 overtime victory against the Phoenix Suns at Delta Center in the Salt City. Climate change is reducing the chances of running breaking marathon records, new research claims. The study, externally by US-based non-profit organization Climate Central, says rising temperatures have made record-breaking runs in some races nearly impossible. It also predicted that optimal running conditions, which it defines as 4 degrees Celsius for men and 10 degrees Celsius for women, will be less likely in 86% of 221 global marathons by 2045. The Berlin Marathon was raced in an unseasonal 24 degrees Celsius in September, while Tokyo and London, also among the 7 world marathon majors, took place in temperatures about 20 degrees Celsius in March and April respectively. This is all in the world of sport, and back to you, Lasuba Memo.
Thanks, Moses. This is iRadio News, and to end this bulletin, here's a recap of the headlines. Authorities in Iquitos County of Eastern Equatorial State say a cholera outbreak has claimed at least 35 lives since September, including 12 deaths reported in the past 2 weeks. The mayor of Juba City has appealed to the public to join hands in keeping the city clean, saying Juba represents the face of South Sudan. And the Ministry of Roads and Bridges has launched the second phase of the rehabilitation of the 192-kilometer Juba-Nimule Highway, focusing on the section within Nyolo-Payam in Magwe County of Eastern Equatorial State. That's the end of iRadio News. If there is a story or an event you'd like iRadio to cover or report about, please send us a text message at +211 925 287 It's also a WhatsApp number. Follow us on X at iRadio Juba. Like our Facebook page, iRadio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at iRadio South Sudan. You can also visit our website and listen to us online at www.iRadio.org. Stay tuned for news at 1:30. I am Lasuba Memo. Thanks for listening.